This was an idea I saw on someone's YouTube channel, which I thought was rather good. So to hold the flywheel in place while you're doing up the while you're torquing up the bolts, you can use a spanner like this in place, and I think that's quite a good idea. So I can't seem to get the flywheel to turn at the moment, but let's try and torque one up. These have got to be done to 130 Newton meters, so it's quite a lot. Do you know what? If I've dropped this this light once, I've dropped it 1,000 times. It's got a magnetic base, but it's just not quite strong enough. Let's try again. So I'm not going to do it all at once. I have partially done them up. Okay, I think that's it. Just check this one. Yeah, they're all done, aren't they? That's good. I'll check it back on the video, I think, to make sure. So I think that's all done. So now I can take my spanner out. Okay. So now I'm ready to basically clean up the face of the friction surface on the flywheel, and I'll obviously make sure there's no residual grease in here. Keep this all nice and clean. So just to tell you what I did with the bolts, I lightly greased the underside of the head of the bolt so that it would slide on the surface. And I used blue Loctite on the threads. I prepared all that first, stood them on a piece of wood, and then got under here with the flywheel, put it in place, screwed the bolts in, and as you saw, just torqued it all up. That's the clutch cover on, and obviously the driven plate inside. The driven plate has the word Getriebeseite in my best German. I can't speak German. It has that written on one side of, and that means gearbox side, Getriebeseite. I was concerned I put it in round the wrong way, but actually I can see the word Getriebeseite through these fingers, the release fingers. So it is definitely round the right way. I used a clutch alignment tool, which it's actually been 3D printed and was supplied to me for doing this. I have to say that I think the driven plate is slightly too low, because it's actually almost touching on a ring that's on the cover plate, but I won't worry about it for the moment until I come to put the thing together, and if I have trouble then I'll know I've done something wrong. But I did have the alignment tool pushed all the way into the bearing in the flywheel, so it should be good. And the bolts, these are all new cover bolts. They had, I don't know if you've seen the BMW ones where they have the green ring of, I think it's the equivalent of Loctite already on the bolt. I hope it is, because I didn't put any more Loctite on, so I hope that's right. They're torqued to 34 Newton meters, and the plate that compresses the plate into place when you get the clutch, this thing's in place, this plate thing here. I was concerned I didn't have a hex socket for that, and bearing in mind I can't seem to get the thing off of this now, but the socket I have used, or the hex drive I've used, is H14, I think. Let's just check. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's an H14 drive. So that's the size you need to get the the locking plate out once you've got the clutch cover bolted on, because it's a self-adjusting clutch. As soon as you take this off, the cover plate will compress against the driven plate and lock it into position. And then obviously you only get a release when the thrust bearing, or do they call it a release bearing now, when that pushes against the fingers and releases the pressure off of the driven plate. So I'm going to have to call it quits there now, because it's about 5:30 in the evening on a Saturday, and I've not got time to try and put the gearbox in. I am going to attempt to do it on my own because my next door neighbour is on holiday, so I'm going to have to try and do it on my own. I have seen a guy do it solo on YouTube, so it should be possible. And that's the gearbox all back in. I made a bit of a mistake at first. Two things I forgot. There's a bracket here that holds the lambda sensor cable, and I didn't put the bolt through the bracket, so I had to take the bolt out again. And I did the same thing on this side. This bolt up here has got a bracket on it, as you can see, and I forgot that one. The other thing I've forgotten is there's the standard gearbox mounts, and I forgot to fit these ones. So it's not too bad. All I'll do is just stick a jack under the back of the gearbox, and then drop this cross member piece, fit the new mounts, and then put it all back together. And there you have it, all fitted, no problem. These were really easy to fit, so I just put them all in place, bolted it all back up, all the gearbox linkages back in, so we're ready to go with that.